So you seen that picture I just shown you. You know where this is going with those guys over there, and the word's been telling us that. But wait till you see how the next book, we read Habakkuk chapter 3 last time, and I just went to the next book available on this Bible app, and that's Zephaniah. And it's just all the more proof that all the prophets are telling you the same thing. They're screaming out what the secret of the Most High Yahuwah is, and that it's being revealed. It's the word being made manifest. You're seeing him coming in on the clouds. But look, what's going on with Israel over there right now is talked about in all those prophets, and right here in Zephaniah especially. Watch this. Watch, witness the mighty right hand. The word of Yahuwah, which came to Zephaniah, son of Cushi, son of Gedaliah, son of Amariah, son of Hezekiah, in the days of Josiah, son of Ammon, sovereign of Yehuda. So this is the word. And this is, again, I need you to understand that the word, the Most High, we've been receiving from the Most High, is a word that was sealed up until the latter days. Now we're in those days, and we're in this word is being unsealed because we're looking at the word through the lamb, with lamb glasses on, with a lamb's perspective, following the lamb. Now that we understand what the lamb represents, this word has been unlocked to us, and the Messiah told us that's how the end would go down. Repeatedly. If you go to Acts, the first chapter of Acts, when it's talking about the Messiah being taken up into the clouds, he says, he tells them that they had to leave Jerusalem then, but in the end, they would be a witness to him in Jerusalem. Right there. I mean, and everywhere you go, it's what it's all about. So the word, just like it came to Zephaniah, and how many other prophets have we seen where he says the word he was reading? Daniel, it happened to, Jeremiah, all those guys. Daniel tells us that he was reading Jeremiah, and he realized something that Jeremiah was saying. Well, that's what's happening right now. I understand that a lot of people can't wrap their mind around this. Well, if you can't, that means you're blind. And the Most High has caused you to be that way because you've denied him. But if you have any humility in you at all, I mean, I love you. I hope that you do. I hope that you turn your ears on, open your eyes, and listen to what this is about to say right here. This is the word being made manifest, my friend. I shall snatch away all from the face of the earth, declares Yahuwah. All? He's going to snatch away all of us? Everybody from the face of the earth? Watch. Understand, I'm going to repeat myself again. These are riddles. Almost all the word is riddles. And to prove that, when we get done with Zephaniah, the next book is Haggai, and we just went through Haggai. I mean, we've went through all of them. Amos, all of it, right? We've went through all these prophets over and over and over again. But that's what you have to do. But next, instead of going to Haggai, after we read this Zephaniah, and I'm only going to read like 1, maybe 2 chapters to you today, but after we get done, and I think there's only 3 chapters in Zephaniah, instead of going straight to Haggai, we're going to go to Revelations, and you're going to see how no one can understand anything that Revelations is talking about unless you have studied thoroughly, Berean style, the prophets. If you haven't studied the prophets, Berean style, you'll never understand what Revelations is talking about. Revelations is talking about what all the prophets is really talking about. And we're going to go to that, and you're going to see it, and it's so amazing. Your mind's going to be blown. Guaranteed. Mind-blowing, guaranteed. So he's saying, I shall snatch away all from the face of the earth. So keep in mind, these are riddles, and we have to break them down and understand what the riddles mean. I snatch away man and beast. I snatch away the birds of the heavens and the fish of the sea and the stumbling blocks with the wrong, when I shall cut off man from the face of the earth, declares Yahuwah. All those words are code words. They're riddles. The beast, that's not talking about animal. The birds of the heavens, that's not talking about birds. The fish of the sea, it's not talking about fish. It's talking about the stumbling blocks. It's talking about all this that stands in opposition to the Most High. And I shall stretch out my hand against Yehuda and against all the inhabitants of Jerusalem, and cut off every trace of Baal from this place, the names of the idolatrous priest with the priest. I want to go back up there to the birds of the heavens. I've told you that the heavens is the truth. And when we get to Revelations, you'll have that confirmed to you. You know how it says that the sky would roll back like a scroll? The heavens will roll back like a scroll. That's a wink wink from Abba. It says that in Revelations. That's letting you know that the heavens is the truth that's in his word. It's like the heavens is in his word when you're realizing the truth, what the word's really telling you. That's the heavens. The birds who are stood in the heavens, what he's talking about is people who've stood, things and people and agendas that have stood in the way of people seeing the truth in the word. That's what the birds of heaven is, I assure you. So, and he's going to stretch out his hand against Yehuda and the inhabitants of Jerusalem and cut off all that. And those bowing down to the host of the heavens on the housetops, and those bowing themselves, swearing by Yahuwah and swearing by Malcolm, which is Molech. I'll show you. We'll hit the compare button down here, and you'll see the next translation down here is Molech. See it at the bottom? Some of them say Malcolm, some of them say Molech, but it's Molech, and that star on Israel's flag, that's Molech star that represents and what they're about. And Christianity is basically, it's all about Baal and Molech, and the world don't realize it, but that's too bad. You know, there are a lot of people who are disconnected from reality right now, aren't there? Yeah, and I mean, we can't do nothing about that, but all we can do is do what we have to do and help who we can help and get out of it. And those who turn away from following Yahuwah, this is what it's all about. And we've been seeing that all through the prophets. And that's what Revelations is all about. This is all about coming to the house, doing that which is continual. And all these people who have been led astray by Molech and Baal and all this stuff, it's caused them to not follow him, not come in and come out. And who have not sought Yahuwah or inquired of him. Hush in the presence of the Master Yahuwah, for the day of Yahuwah is near. For Yahuwah has prepared a slaughter, he has set apart his invited ones. And it shall be in the day of the slaughter of Yahuwah that I shall punish the rulers of the sons of the sovereign, and all such as are clad in foreign garments. Now see, if you'd been reading all the other prophets with us, breaking it down Berean style, you'd know what he means by foreign garments. The foreigners are, it's Molech and Baal, it's all these Christian holidays, it's Islam, it's all of these false deities. They're foreign to us, to his children. We only know Abba Yahuwah, he's our sovereign. And his mighty right hand, his word, his instructions instruct us. Anything else is foreign. And I shall punish on that day all who leap over the threshold, boom, who fill their masters' houses with violence and deceit. They leap over the threshold. Look, all through the prophets and Revelations, all over the word, you'll see that when the children of the Most High finally return to their land, It's a decisive end, overflowing with righteousness. All traces of Baal and Molech are cut off. That lets you know that return over there, what happened in 1948, is not the return. It's an imposter. They leaped over the threshold. It's deceit and violence. The Most High didn't tell us, and he didn't tell us that in the last time when we came back, he didn't say that we'd have to go in and wipe out 567 villages and murder millions and displace millions. He didn't tell us to do that. But that's what they did, and they're still doing it. He didn't say you would go on for 76 years and fight it out. He didn't say that you would represent Molech and Baal and wear their star on your flag and tell everybody it's the Star of David. He didn't say to do all that. You've been hoodwinked. The whole world has been suckered. I was too. Hallelujah, all praise, all glory, all honor, all esteem to Abba Yahuwah, the Most High, our wonderful Creator, for bringing me out. I pray that He brings you out also. And on that day there shall be, declares Yahuwah, the sound of a cry from the fish gate. You're hearing it. You've been hearing it. And of a howling from the second quarter, and of a great crashing from the hills. From the hills, that's a wink wink. That's what's happening over there in Israel. Great crashing. It's not going to, the stain that they've placed on themselves, and this is all Abba. Abba has whipped all this up precisely. It's all been calculated and time precise. You're seeing the skirt lifted up, the shame. It's over. It's over for them. When the generation before me is gone, there'll be no more idolatry of Isis, Ra'el, and the Chaldeans. It's over. But I have a sneaking suspicion that it's going to happen a lot sooner than that. We're going to get to it a lot quicker. How, you inhabitants of Maktash, for all the merchant people shall be silenced. All those weighing out silver shall be cut off. That word Maktash is supposed to be like the market square, basically. It's all these people, just like on iPet Goat 2, and when you see the Messiah raise up in the air, and all them people that are in the little squares and the business suits, they get destroyed. Anyone, all the people who can't come home and won't look at this, the reason they can't is because they're plugged into Babylon, even though they don't think so. And they'd fight you over saying that, but they are, because they can't leave their jobs, their houses. Those things take priority. And right now, at any time, but especially right now, in this time, you got to be ready and willing, baby, to walk away from whatever. Can you walk away? Is there something? Is there anything right now in your life that you can't walk away from? Let's see. Try it one time. And if you can't, there's your God right there. That's who you serve. And it's yourself. And it's Molech. It's Baal. It's all those things. However you want to chop it up. That's what it is. But all that's going to be cut off, my friend. You can't hold on to all the silver, all the riches, if you want all the riches. You got to let Abba give it to you. He's the one that owns all the cattle on all the hills, baby. And at that time it shall be that I search Yarushalim with lamps, and punish the men who are settled on their dregs, who say in their heart, Yahuwah does no good, nor does he evil. That's the message. Verse 12 of Zephaniah chapter 1 is a summary of the message. If you ain't in Yerushalayim on the appointed times, It's because you settled on your dregs. That's where you would rather, your paneled house is where it's at. Your job, your boss, your wife, your husband, your family, your reputation, your social media status is what's important. It takes priority. Otherwise, you could walk away from it all and come searching out Yerushalayim, and it would become marvelous in your eyes. Is it even a thought to most people? It's not. So that's how the end's going down. He's going to know who loved him and who was body. Come the appointed times when he looks down from Mount Zion and he sees who's there, who came, who followed the Lamb, who was trustworthy. And their wealth shall become plunder, and their houses laid waste. And they shall build houses, but not inhabit them, and they shall plant vineyards, but not drink their wine. All those churches, it's not going to produce, it's producing nothing. You're presenting defiled offerings to the Most High. It's an abomination. Near is the great day of Yahuwah, near and hurrying greatly the noise of the day of Yahuwah. Let the mighty man then bitterly cry out. That day is a day of wrath, a day of distress and trouble, a day of waste and ruin, a day of darkness and gloominess, a day of clouds and thick darkness. That's what's happening right now. That's why no one cares about this message. They shun it and rebuke it, mock it, and scoff it. It's a laughing matter to them. But it's going to be a teeth gnawing matter. Probably sooner rather than later, but it will come. A day of a shofar and sounding against the walled cities and against the corner towers. And I shall bring distress on men, and they shall walk like blind men. That lets you know, that's more clues to let you know what the word distress means. When he uses distress, it means that you've been taken from your house, from his house, from your inherited land, and it includes, at this time, this day and age, that we're blinded to where it even is. And why? Because we sinned against Yahuwah. And their blood shall be poured out like dust, and their flesh like dung. Neither their silver nor their gold shall be able to deliver them in the day of the wrath of Yahuwah, and by the fire of his jealousy all the earth shall be consumed. For he makes a sudden end of all those who dwell in the earth. Jealousy. We know when he uses the word jealousy, he's talking about the image of jealousy. He's talking about you serving someplace or someone else, not being at the house, not caring about the house. You would be too. You would be more outraged than him. You would no telling. If this was up to you, no telling what you would have done, or we would have done, if this would have happened to us. I use the analogy of all the time of adultery. If you came home and your wife was in bed with another man, your arch enemy, and it just kept going like that, and you kept forgiving her and stuff, you couldn't handle this. The Most High has great, mighty patience. He's been so patient with us, but he's told us that day where compassion ends will come. And it's up to you whether or not you want to get the wrath. You don't have to take it, but the world is heading to the wrath. Nothing's going to save you. So all the earth shall be consumed, and a sudden end of all who dwell on the earth. Wouldn't that be all of us, right? No. See, those are code words, riddles. Dwell on the earth means you can't see where your true home is. Everyone who's blinded to where the true house is and about it, those people are those who dwell on the earth. Gather together, O nation, without shame, before the law gives birth. What law? We've been reading about it. The law to come home, to follow the Lamb, to come in and out. The day shall pass on like chaff before the burning wrath of Yahuwah comes upon you, before the day of wrath of Yahuwah comes upon you. There's that double your pleasure comments. The Most High, when he says something twice, you best pay attention. Seek Yahuwah, all you meek ones of the earth. You meek, who have done his right ruling. Seek righteousness, seek meekness, if so be that you are hidden in the day of wrath of Yahuwah. There's only one hiding place, and it's in Yerushalayim. And it's in the true Yerushalayim, not the imposter, that one that starts with a J. And here's so much proof of that and of everything that's going on. We were reading this, Zephaniah, on the week of October the 7th and the week before, leading up to it. Go check the facts. You'll see. You'll see about the flying scroll and all that stuff. That video's named Can I Get a Yes Please? The one that was on the 6th. Yeah, on October the 6th. And we predicted, basically. Yeah, we did. Go check it. It's titled Can I Get a Yes Please? And I put it out, made it and put it out on October 6th. And I said, the Most High showed us. I didn't say it. The Most High showed us. I just relayed it. That place was about to be destroyed, and it was on its way out. Sure enough, we were reading all this. Look, for Azah is abandoned and Ashkelon laid waste. For those of you who don't know what Azah is, what do you think that is? Let's see. Compare. Gaza. You see it right there? Gaza. For Gaza is abandoned. Look, he just was telling us. He said, gather together, for the law gives birth. You best seek Yahuwah, all you meek ones. If you're meek, you best seek him and follow him. And he's telling us about that day. What day? For Gaza is abandoned. It wasn't abandoned when we were talking about that back in October, was it? It wasn't. You see how the Most High has been showing us all this. And Ashkelon laid waste. Ashdod is driven out at noonday, and Ekron is uprooted. Now, I would say that part of that verse 4 is yet to be fulfilled. You know, probably the last parts of it there, that Ashdod and Ashkelon stuff, I don't know. But, you know, you can see these neighboring countries, they're itching. They just can't handle it. And the further those guys go into Rafah, and the more they do this, because look, they understand that it's not about them getting them guys in the tunnels. This is about moving all those people out of there and taking that area. We know this. Don't act stupid. You know what the greater Israel plan is. You know what it is. Ain't nobody not condemning those guys. We're just calling it like it is. That's what's happening. That's a marker right there. Verse 4 is like a time stamp, a marker, time marker to let you know, well, when you see that happening, yep, we're in that day. And you best seek him. Woe to the inhabitants of the sea coast, the nation of the Kerethites. That's who those people are, the sea coast. He uses the word the sea coast and the coastlands all through the prophets. And he's talking about the image of the beast, the imposter, the abomination that lays waste. Isis, Ra, El. That might be the last one of those that you get from me, because you know that they're tightening the grip, the lock. They're gonna make it probably eventually to where you won't even be able to say a word about them until it's all over with. But leading up to that, don't be surprised if they don't start locking people up for talking about these guys. So they're against the word of Yahuwah. Yeah, is against you. Yeah, it is. It's against you. Oh, Canaan. They're Canaan. That's who it is. Like I've been saying, and it's the Chaldeans. It's the Kasdim. They're all the same. But they're in the land of the Philistines of Palestine. That's where they are. And I shall destroy you. That whole little area is going to get wiped out. When one book, he tells us that he's going to destroy it. He's going to sweep it clean with the broom of destruction. Yep. And I shall destroy you so that there is no inhabitant. And the sea coast shall be pastures, shepherds' meadows, and enclosures for flocks. Now, this is proof of how the Most High, he's walked us along so gently. He's got that slow hand, baby. He's moved nice and gentle with us, hasn't he? There's been so much of this scripture that when we've read it, he showed us revelations and parts of it, but then there's been other parts where I didn't have a clue what it was talking about, but later on, because we've kept studying and he's been leading us, we've seen, he's led us to the truths of things that we wondered about prior to that. Well, I never knew what he was talking about in verse 6 when it says, and it shall be pastured, shepherds, meadows, and enclosures for flocks. I thought, well, what, are we going to be able to go there? Literally, physically, go there after it's destroyed, go there and like set. No, these are all code words. I got to remember that just like you do. Watch. And the coast shall be for the remnant of the house of Yehudah. It's for us. They shall feed their flocks on it. That's what I've been doing. I've been feeding on it. I'm not physically there in the Middle East at that coastland area he's talking about. He's talking about what they've been, the lie of it. Feed on looking at it, examining that place and what they've been doing and who they are, and understand that it's the image of the beast. And that's going to be you feeding on that, because it's going to cause you to get away from it. You'll feed on it. It'll cause you to look for your true home and come home and be blessed coming in and coming out. That's what he's talking about. I assure you. At evening, they lie down in the houses of Ashkelon, for Yahuwah, their mighty Most High, shall visit them and turn back their captivity. Them coming down, crashing down since October 7th, is food for us to escape captivity. I assure you. I have heard the reproach of Moab and the revelings of the children of Ammon, with which they have reproached my people and exalted themselves against their borders. Against their borders. You're going to see who this, if you don't already know, you should know. This is Isis Rael. Therefore, as I live, declares Yahuwah of hosts, the Most High of Yashral, Moab shall be like Sodom, and the children of Ammon like Amorah. Though the children, anyone who's still holding on to that thing, that brick mold, they're going to be like the children of Gomorrah. They're going to be gone. A possession for weeds and a pit of salt, a waste forever. The remnant of my people plunder them, and the rest of my nation possess them. This is what they get for their pride, because they have reproached and exalted themselves against the people of Yahuwah of hosts. They have done it. They've lied and said they are the people of Yahuwah. They say that he is their mighty Most High and that they serve and worship him when they don't. Clearly they don't. Most of them are admitted secular people, but they follow the Kabbalah tree, which is the tree of the knowledge of good and evil doctrine. That's what that star represents. It's the combining of man and divine. That's what that star represents. It represents as above, so below, just like the Baphomet. It's all Satan worship, however you want to chop it up. Yahuwah shall be awesome to them, for he shall make all the mighty ones of the earth to shrivel, while all the coastlands of the nations bow down to him, each one from his place. You too, O Cushites, are to be slain by my sword. And he shall stretch out his hand against the north, and destroy Ashur, and make Nineveh a waste, as dry as a wilderness. And droves shall lie down in her midst, every beast of the nation, both pelican and bitter lange, in the tops of her columns, a voice singing at the window. This is what you're hearing, that voice singing at the window. Ruin be at the threshold, for the cedar work is exposed. That's what you've been witnessing. What is that? This is the exultant city. that is dwelling in safety, that said in her heart, I am it, and there is none but me. Boom. Wake up, my friends, before it's too late. How has she become a waste, a place for beasts to lie down? Everyone who passes by her whistles and shakes his fist. There's nothing about that place that's any good. You need to treat it like the plague and stay clear. She's the oppressing city.